Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to put this into words. I wrote something out here, and I was going to make today's video about how you can't just take notes about things, you need to write things out as well. As in, you cannot just only take notes about information and take notes the whole time. You also need to produce writing that you plan to publish and show to others, because this is for the development of ideas. This is for the connection of ideas, actually piecing things together. And that's what turns these useful, is to piece it together into useful knowledge that you can give to others. And so I'm still working through this, and I was planning to write out an entire other page here about this, but I have other things to do. And so I'm going to stop it here, and so I'm just going to tell you about this idea. Basically, I write about alchemy because alchemists, though some of them were sham artists who were just tinting materials in order to sell them at a higher price, many of them were searching for something called the Philosopher's Stone. And the Philosopher's Stone, what was believed it could do, is that it was basically a substance that could be added with any other material in order to turn it into any other material. It was basically a universal transmutation agent. And so the pursuit of the Philosopher's Stone was basically the Magnum Opus for philosophers. It was their, not philosophers, for alchemists. It was their big end goal, creating the Philosopher's Stone, a universal transmutation agent. As we know now, there's no such thing as a universal transmutation agent that can turn any one material into any other material by just combining it together. And so, but here's what's interesting. On their search for the Philosopher's Stone, many alchemists began to question the composition of materials. And by composition, I mean the relationship between consciousness and materials. And many of them attempted to understand what materials were made from and their different properties. And over time, and there's tons of reasons for this, and I won't go into them now because it's just the history of alchemy, but it went from alchemists being hidden, just working by themselves, barely sharing anything with any other alchemists, being actively hunted by the church, to literally being contracted to work in what now resemble kind of like modern day laboratories, or however you pronounce it, laboratories, to just study materials. And basically, alchemists, through this pursuit of their magnum opus, which we now know is impossible, even though alchemy was a proto-science, by the pursuit of something impossible, it laid the foundational work for modern-day chemistry and modern-day health, or modern-day medicine. So by following relentlessly something that we now know is impossible, alchemists laid the foundation for like two massive fields for what we now consider modern science. And I think this is how we need to approach our explorations. We cannot just say that we will explore whatever. We have to have a magnum opus that we are working towards. And by working towards this magnum opus, we're able to discover more and more and share it with others. And the effects of exploring and moving towards developing this magnum opus will send ripples through time and through space to impact the discoveries, even once we are no longer around.